Hi and welcome back to ETV Power Women. We're just having a chat with the much loved illustrator and author Sybil Wettasinghe. Sybil, I'm going to ask you now a little bit about your personal life. You kind of spoke about your husband earlier on, and you said that he's been a huge influence, or was a huge influence in getting you to where you are today. Tell us a bit, we know how you met, but tell us a little bit after that. So he encouraged you with Umbrella Thief.
Yeah, if not for him, his name was Don Sybil Wettasinghe. He was an editor in Lake House.
Yeah.
And if not for him, I don't think there would have been anybody called Sybil Wettasinghe because he built up my career really.
Yeah.
And he was very interested in my art and always read my copies when I wrote.
Yeah.
And corrected them. All the work he had as a man who was involved in politics. But he never allowed me to get involved in politics. This is not your field. He would never talk. And one very interesting episode I still remember, we were living in Timbergasai long ago. Then we moved on to Nugegoda because he liked to live in an urban atmosphere.
Right.
And there when we went to live, a good resident there who is also interested in our type of work.
Yeah.
He came visiting us. Then he sat and talked to my husband, and I came and went and served him tea, and he didn't take much notice of me. So I went in and I was sort of listening to what they talked about politics. But he was talking more about children's writing and illustrating and books, and to this person who is not really a writer of children's books, kept on talking about all the things that appear in the newspaper. And getting up to go, he said, "Yes, Sybil, we'll meet again." Now we thought he's Sybil. It was a great laugh. So once he vanished out of the gate, I said, "Why didn't you tell him you're not Sybil?" So no, let him carry on thinking like that. He's a real practical joker, my husband. Anyway, they must have found out later who the real Sybil is. And so he was so interested in my work. When I was about 24 years old, I got a visitorship to go to a training workshop to be held in Rangoon, Burma, and 4 others were going, 2 other women and 2 men, and I was to go as an illustrator. It was organized by UNESCO, and the workshop was in Rangoon. So when I got this invitation, I was pregnant.
Okay, with
the 3rd child. So, but he said, "What? You're going to stay back?" I said, "But then how can I go?" No, nothing is going to keep you back. So we went to the doctor. He said, "Best person to ask doctor." And then our doctor was Mrs. Augusta Aberathan that time. She said, "Doctor, she has an invitation to go to Burma for 5 weeks." Now, Mrs. Aberathan took a good look at me. I was just about 24. "What do you think?" I said, "I like to go." "Then go, man, it's all right." So this brass of a man, who's the husband, he packed me off to Burma.
For 5 weeks.
Oh, for 5 weeks. And my mother-in-law was furious. My mother was very angry. "Why are you sending her? If anything happens," "Oh, nothing is going to happen."
And you have a number of grandchildren as well.
5
grandchildren. So tell us a little bit about your children.
My elder son used to be a draftsman, architectural draftsman. Now he's retired. He's over 55. Retired. So he's helping me with some book illustrations.
Oh, wow,
I have no time to do some books, like little books for folk poems. He draws them very well. He had this training of being an draftsman. So his fine lines and his colorways are good, and it's quite nice. Then my elder daughter, who lives in Aberdeen, she had this bring up her children, and she had a lot of work to do. now the children are grown, and she also has taken to writing and illustrating books.
Wow.
And
So
yeah, she's a teacher. And my third daughter used to be a good illustrator. She draws beautifully, but then her vocation in life is not drawing and illustrating. She's taken out to something else, and she's very hard at work. But if you insist, she draws something. Very, very beautiful things she draws. She could have been a better person, better illustrator and author than myself if she continued. I believe it. But she won't hear of it. It's one person is enough, she says. So any day I'm dead and gone, she will regret, I think. And my son is a graphic designer attached to a local TV channel. Just for the fun of it, sometimes he draws, but they don't take, I think they're too shy to do something because their mother is a grand
celebrity.
And but the two kids here, they are very good at drawing, but they too are very shy about projecting themselves or work. I don't know, sometimes it may not be the right thing to have a famous person in the family, because the others all go into the shade, which is not a nice thing. They can bring out their own talents in other ways. So, but I know they are capable of doing something on their own.
They seem to all have your artistic talent.
They have. And the biggest joke is, my husband used to say, you know, in my days I was also an artist, but then I am no match for you, so I just forgot about it. It was a great discovery to know, and that may be the reason why he was drawn to me, because he wanted to develop my talents more than his, and he's a serious writer.
Wonderful. So what do you do, like, to relax, to just kind of take time out, and you know, what relaxes you?
Oh, relaxation is my work.
Is your work? You're probably one of the few people who can say that.
I really relax thinking of ideas and plots to write. That is my kind of recreation. And of course, there are some few authors I read quite often. I am very happy reading. I read, and then I walk sometimes in the mornings because it's necessary for my health. And otherwise, I think time is more valuable than money. So I am a person who makes the most of my time, and I don't think relaxation is something that I have got used to it, because my work, as you say, as I said before, is my form of relaxation.
What a lovely sort of sentiment to take a break on. We've got to go in for another little break, but when we come back, Sybil, we have something we call it the confession cam, where we've spoken to some of your colleagues and your family, and they've told us a little bit about what they think of you, and so we can find out a little bit more about who you really are. So we've got that coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more from the lovely Sybil. See you soon. Hi, and welcome back to ETV Power Women. We're just heading into what we like to call the sort of confession cam. We've got some of Sybil's friends and family who tell us a little bit more about her. But before we take a look at that, Sybil, I understand you've got your biography coming out next month.
Yes, it is written by Mrs. Vijita Fernando in English, and Piyavati Jayasuriya wrote it in Sinhala, published by Sarasavi Publishers. It will be out on the 18th of November. That's from my beginning to the up-to-date.
Wonderful, and so you can learn a lot more about Sybil by picking up that book. Right, we're going to take a look at your confession cam. Are you ready to see what your friends and family have to say?
Right.
Even in her day-to-day interactions, when she goes out, she comes back with a lot of stories about, you know, little things that amuse her. And I think that's what also gets into her illustrations. If you look at her illustrations, they're a mixture of partly, even in a very serious situation, if she's drawing something like that, there's at least a small item that gives out that element of humor. So that is her. She's basically a very fun-loving person, and as she tells herself, she looks at the world through a child's eyes. So sometimes it's good. Sometimes also I think probably it's also a little bit difficult because not all adult experiences could be taken from a child's point of view. But she manages and yeah, so what I also find sometimes very, very surprising is that she's extremely hardworking. From morning to very late in the night she will work, and except nowadays she takes a break during day, but other than that she can just, you know, sit down and work without any disruption, without being troubled about anything that happens outside. She can just delve into work like that. I don't know whether she considers her work as a burden. It's not, I think. She enjoys her work, so that's why she's able to do that even at her age. And also she's very careful about herself. She looks after herself, so looking after her is not a problem for us as her children because she's very careful about herself. She likes going out, meeting friends, all those things are part of her life, and she likes to read, which she doesn't do much nowadays because it strains her eyes, but reading, she especially likes drama, things like that, and talking to children. She has a stream of young fans who call her off and on and tell her things, how they like her books, what they don't like about her books. And my nieces and nephews, they're always around her, talking with her, they are friends also. So partly her life is full of work, children, fun. I would say not that there aren't any downsides, there are all like moments where she's, you know, things go wrong, but she definitely takes it on the bound. Because she's able to look at the world in a very positive way, I suppose.
One thing, as a person, I have a lot of respect for her and a lot of admiration. And then as an artist and as a woman, I think she has made some really, really revolutionary changes. I'll tell you a little bit about the artistic side because that's how I met her. From my experience, Auntie Sybil, drew without training, without going to art school or getting a formal education. What she did was she drew her memories of Gilberta, and that was very natural, very organic and not forced at all. And it's really interesting because at this time a lot of people were trying to draw the authentic Sri Lanka or the authentic village life and society, but she didn't need to. And so what she expressed, I think people received in many, many ways because it was unforced and they could relate to it. I met her because I was writing her biography for an exhibition we were organizing of her work. So the interaction I had with her was that she was very open to me and very open to hearing my perspective of her life, even when sometimes she didn't agree with it. So there was a rich dialogue and a sincere dialogue that I really appreciated. There's a humanity in her that I really appreciate, and an ability to relate to many, many people, regardless of the fact that she has a lot of, I don't know if prestige is the word, but she's known well here, and yet she can talk to anyone without thinking twice about it.
Great what my daughter says.
Lots of lovely stuff said about you. It's always nice to kind of get other people's perspective on what they really feel and how they think about you.
But I didn't think my daughter would say all those things. And this child is Netra, is the one who organized this exhibition.
Yes.
The Red Dot Gallery.
Yeah, well, it's wonderful actually, and I'm glad that you got to see that. Well, we're going to take another little break, and when we come back we have something, it's called the dreaded 10, and it's basically, I'm going to shoot 10 questions at you, and I want the first answer that sort of pops into your head. Right, so we're going to be back with the dreaded 10 after this little break. We'll see you soon. Hi, you're watching ETV Power Women. We've been chatting with the many sort of much loved and very talented Sybil Wettasinghe, and I'm now going to subject her to our dreaded 10. So 10 rapid questions. I'm just going to ask them to you. First answer that pops into your head. Of course, the dreaded 10 is brought to us by the lovely people at Pond's Age Miracle. So are you ready, Sybil?
I'm ready.
Yeah?
Of
Okay.
course, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. What is your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue? Okay, lovely. Yeah, I'm quite partial to blue myself. Where do you go to find absolute peace?
Within me.
Oh, really?
No other place.
What would you do first if you were ruler of the nation?
Weave fantastic stories for children.
Okay. What is the best thing about being an artist?
You live in a fantasy world all your life.
Yeah.
And that is very nice to be.
Yeah. What annoys you the most?
Oh, what annoys me? Noise.
Noise? Yeah. What do you consider your greatest achievement?
To be what I am today.
Yeah. That's it. Is the glass half empty or half full?
Full.
And what do you despise most in people?
Envy.
Envy, yeah, no, that's a good one. What would you want to do, like, most before you die?
Die. Die. Float in the cloud world.
Would you rather be a small fish in a big pond or a big fish in a small pond?
Small fish. Small is my really. Anything small is beautiful to me.
Yeah.
Small fish in a big pond.
In a big. That was it. That was the dreaded 10.
Yeah.
It has been an absolute pleasure and a real joy actually having you here on the show. And thank you so much for coming in and having a chat with us. I'm sure everyone at home found it as fascinating and truly
lovely to
enjoyable
talk to a
session.
young person like you who really appreciates my work, and thank you for inviting me here.
For all of you at home, don't forget we've got another fascinating guest coming on the show next week. But if you'd like to learn a little bit more about our guests and the program, you can always log on to our website, which is www.etvpowerwomen.blogspot.com. Lots of fascinating stuff on there. And also, don't forget, Sybil's biography comes out on the 18th of November, which is going to be wonderful, so don't forget to pick it up. Right, well, we'll see you again next week, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Sybil.